Hello, this is Coach Sparks and welcome back to another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial. Today we're going to continue our AI boss character creation, and I've got this new boss character here. So he's at the same point as the previous video, so he's animated and he's ready to go. So before, we're going to create a HUD for him, or heads up display, and a health bar for him. So what we want to do first is we're going to create a variable for him. So we're going to create him a health variable so we can track his health and use a bar to adjust that. And so we're going to go here in your character blueprint here and go under variables, and we're going to create a new variable. We're going to call this, I'm just going to call it troll underscore health. And we want to change this here in the variables from a Boolean to a float variable. And we want to compile that so we can have access to this blueprint in this health variable. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a blueprint for the character HUD. So we want to go here inside our Trolls folder, and I want to right click, and we're going to create under our blueprint class. You have to scroll down and go under user interface and choose the widget blueprint option right here. And so we're going to call this troll HUD. We may add some other things to it later on. And we want to open this up. And when we open this up, we get to this screen here, and basically this little box that's outlined is our actual screen. So this is the size of our screen that we'll be playing on, so we can determine where we want that progress bar or health bar to actually display, and that's how we'll set it up here. So this is our canvas panel, and the way I like to do it, I'm going to do a horizontal bar and add some text and a progress bar. So the easiest way is just to go here and start typing in horizontal box, and we'll click that and just drag it down over top of our canvas panel, and that will display up here in this corner, and we can move that around. So just drag it, and we're going to move it over here. And this little thing here is just an anchor point of where we want it anchored, and we can readjust that here in just a minute. So I want to put his health bar kind of somewhere in the middle, and we can kind of resize this a little bit to start with, and we'll fix it as we go. So we can have this here, and then we're going to add some text. So you can clear that out, and under the common section, if this is closed out like this, you can just open this up and go down. We're going to take some text and just drag it on top of our horizontal box down here, and that will parent it to it. And you can see we can click right here, and in this text box or text block, we can go right here under the content, and we can change the name. So we're going to say Troll Health, and that will change this to that. We can adjust the size of the text if we want to, and we can also choose the color. So I'm just going to kind of choose a reddish color for the text, and you can choose whatever color you want. And the next step is we're going to add a progress bar, which is also under common. So we just click our progress bar, drag it over to this horizontal box, that will parent it to it, and we can rename it as well. So I'm just going to rename it Troll Health Bar. Use the underscores. Okay, so we'll call it Troll Health Bar to make it a little easier to find it when we need it. And one of the things you see, it's not very it's very big, it's real small, and the way we can make it fill this space is just choose here to fill, and we'll fill that. Now it's obviously a little bigger than we want it to be, so the way you fix that is go to your horizontal box and just adjust this up to the appropriate space that you want it, and just kind of resize it and move it around wherever you want it to be. So we'll kind of move it somewhere in there. We can always move it later if it doesn't fit where we want it to fit. Okay. So the next step we need to do is we need to be able to get access to our Troll's health variable right here. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to select this progress bar, so make sure it's selected and it's up here, and we're going to go to our graph here, and we want to be able to go to this event construct. So in your event graph there's an event construct node, so we're going to gain access to our blueprint here, character blueprint, through this process. So we're going to drag off of here and we're going to type in get all actors of class. And so that's going to give us access to all the actors, and then we're going to select the class we want to use. So we're just going to go here and we can search for this blueprint, and that will access that. And then from this out actors node is kind of an array, so we're going to drag off and we're going to type in get. So we're going to get an array get node, and then from there we're going to cast that to our blueprint right here. So we'll just drag off of here and type in cast to, and now we should have this option here. So this is our blueprint, and we will plug these in here, plug that in, and then we're going to have here, we're just going to promote this to a variable, and we can just call this Troll. It doesn't really matter what you call it, but that'll suit our purpose. Okay, so once we got that, we'll compile that, and then we'll go back to our designer, and then we're going to do a binding. So we want to take this progress bar and we want to fill it based off of the Troll's health variable at any given time. So we've got to create a binding. So we're going to go under the percent option right here and make sure that this is checked, that this is selected, and we're going to go to this bind option here. And now we should have a subjob object properties for Troll, and we can use the Troll health. So we can bind that to that. We'll just compile that real quick. And we're also going to, I'm going to use the, to adjust the color to what I want, we're going to have to do another binding here on the percent. So you just click this one more time and choose create binding. And what that'll do is it'll bring us back to this function right here. And this is going to be, it says get Troll health bar percent. And so we're going to drag these out, and we're going to set these up to where we can get access to the color we want, and we're going to make a percentage so that as his health goes down, it's going to change colors based off of some parameters that we set. So first thing we need to do is we need to get our all actors from class again. So all actors of class, and we're going to choose our blueprint for our character, our AI character we're using, and this is whatever character you're using, that's what you would choose. So again, we're going to type in a get, doing a get array, and we'll just drag this way over here for the moment, and from here we're going to drag in and we're going to cast to our Mordor Troll, and then we'll just plug this in here. Okay, so now we have access to the blueprint to be able to adjust this progress bar, and so what we want to do here is as off of this variable here, we're going to access the health variable. So we're going to type in get our Troll health variable. So we'll get this node here, and we're going to use this extensively. Now this value here will end up going into this node here, so we don't forget to do it later. We'll just go ahead and drag it in to the return value now, and that way we won't forget later. So the next thing we need to do is we've got to set up some variables, and we're going to do I want to do 3 different colors. So from here I'm going to need a branch, so I'm just going to hold the B key and I'm going to press the left mouse button to create a branch, and I'm going to do that 2 more times because I'm going to need 2 more, and we'll plug all these together as we go, so that we already got them created. And this one is going to go into here, And if it's true, we're gonna tell it to make it one color. If it's false, we're going to go down to this branch. So I'm just going to go ahead and hook this branch up to here. So if this condition ends up being false, it will go down to this one. So a couple things we need. We need to actually tell it what we want to fix. So we're going to go right over here to this variable, and we have our troll health bar. So this is our progress bar we created over in our designer tab. So we're just going to drag this out, and we're going to get access to that. And from there, we're just going to drag off, and we're going to type in set color and opacity. So set fill color and opacity, and there you see it says target is progress bar. So if our condition is true, we want to plug it into here, and it's going to affect it's going to go back to our health bar that we've created, and then we're going to plug this into this return node. So we're going to need 2 more of these actually. So we'll just copy those, and we'll just paste those in. So if this condition is true, we're going to use this one. And if this one becomes true, we set it up in a minute, we're going to use this one. So the target is going to be our health bar, so we just plug this one in here. And we'll also plug it in here. So that will set all of our targets. We'll set the colors as we go. So now back in these, actually, if we want to go ahead and do this, pull this node down, and we'll plug these 2 into it as well. Now everything's connected there, so now all we have to do is set our conditions and then set our colors as we go. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our health variable, and we're going to say I'm going to do the top third to be one color, the middle third to be a color, and the bottom third to be a color. So from here, I'm going to choose a float is greater than or equal to a certain value. So if my health variable is greater than or equal to, and I'm going to set my health to 1 when I create this. So I'm going to say if it's greater than or equal to 0.67 or 67% to full, then that's going to make this true. And then it's going to go down this path, and it's going to set this fill color and opacity, and we're just going to kind of make that like a bluish color. So we say if it's full, we're going to make it blue. If that becomes false, then when this is no longer true, it's going to follow this path to false and go down and go to this branch. So we've got to set up the condition for it to check. So we're just going to drag off of here, and we're going to do another float is less than. So if my float variable is less than 0.67, and also I got to check the bottom end of this, so I want to do another one, and we're going to say float is greater than or equal to again, and I'm going to say 0.34. And you can make these variables any way you want, and you can make 4 colors, 5 colors, whatever you want. So to check both of these at the same time, we've got to drag off and do an AND Boolean. And we will drag in here, and then we will drag in here. Okay, once we get these 2 variables set up here, we're just going to plug this in right here to this condition, and that will make this one true if it's between less than 0.67 or greater than or equal to 0.34. That will make that one true. So we're going to make that color maybe a yellowish orange color or whatever. So something like that, whatever color you want. And then finally we will put this one down in here. And if this one becomes true, this is the only other option we have. So we're going to make this one red. And we're going to say float is less than. So if it's less than 0.34, then we'll make this condition true, and our bar will become red. So this is how we have to set it up to make a tricolor. You don't really have to do this, but this will work fine and make a nice progress bar. So we want to compile that, and there'll be some things in the blueprint that we'll have to do to get this to work. But again, we've got this. And one final thing, you need to make sure you double check all this to make sure it all is set up correctly and everything is plugged into here, as well as the return value plugged into your health variable over here to get this to work. And then over in your designer, you want to make sure that the percent, it has this function set, otherwise it won't actually put in the colors that we have selected. So that's going to be all for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video to get this actually showing up in our game.